Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Sandy Williams. A special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. Here's what we have in the bulletin.
Taxi operators withdraw services in protest over deplorable road conditions on Cambridge to Montpelier Road. St. Catherine PNP councillors defend Mayor Norman Scott, blast JLP over assault charge condemnation. And later in sports, historic achievement in men's 100 meters for Jamaica at World Championships.
And now the details. Taxi operators who ply the Cambridge to Montpelier and Cambridge to downtown Montego Bay routes withdrew their services this morning in protest of the deplorable road conditions. Kimberly Petty reports.
That's the reality when most vehicles try to maneuver this pothole along the Montpelier main road. And it is for that reason placard-bearing taxi operators parked their vehicles as early as 6 a.m. along the main road Monday morning as they voiced their grudges over the poor road conditions. TVJ News understands that the protest caused a pileup of traffic. Commuters have been left stranded, to include students of the Anchovy and Cambridge High School, as well as students of Montpelier Primary School.
If you notice right here, the road is no good. And it's not just right here alone, straight along from Anchovy, Montpelier, straight down to Shetland area. It's no good. It's no good, no good. So we need road. We need road. And we need the road like right now.
Many complain of the high cost to fix their vehicles that oftentimes get damaged as a result of the bad roads.
Every week, 2016 vaccine drive, I have to buy parts. 2 tire cost me 14,000 for one at 28,000. Every week, we have to buy parts. No money can make 2.5 hours in the traffic for no at all. Every day we go through it. Truck and breakdown for the road, everything. Body road. I drive for instead of a tree and tree here. Come just come here to I need it cost me so much money already. I have to change a box already. Sell one and buy one next one for sure. Say it really called arts.
He went further.
We have a people them for mine and everything, build house, everything and buy what we want to buy. How we gonna do it? We can't do it to this already. The road need to fix. We don't want to fear for raising up. We just want the road to fix. That alone I want.
Now the disgruntled taxi operators say they're anxiously awaiting the MP-elect, the PNP's Lakeisha Burchell, to come and address them. The police and military are maintaining a strong presence in the space in an attempt to maintain peace. Kimberly Petty for TVJ News.
A family of 4, including 3 students, are now homeless after a fire destroyed their home in Windsor District, St. Elizabeth, early this morning. According to reports, around 2 o'clock, the family was awoken by screams, alerting them to the fire at the back of their house. They managed to escape before the blaze engulfed the entire structure. The flames also spread to an adjacent church and a nearby motor vehicle. 2 units from the Santa Cruz Fire Station responded to the fire. Firefighters managed to extinguish the blaze at the church, but could only perform cooling down operations on the family's home and the car, as the fire had already caused significant damage. No injuries have been reported. Police have seized yet another stolen motor vehicle just a day after a similar recovery in St. Elizabeth. 1 man has been taken into custody following Sunday's operation in Annotto Bay, St. Mary. Acting on intelligence, the police carried out a targeted operation in the Marking Stone community. A search warrant was executed at a premises for prohibited weapons and stolen property. During the search, officers discovered a white Toyota Voxy on an adjacent property. The vehicle was hidden beneath a tarpaulin with several parts stripped and no registration plates attached. Preliminary checks later revealed it had been reported stolen in the corporate area. This seizure comes on the heels of Saturday's major find in St. Elizabeth, where police intercepted a stolen vehicle after a high-speed chase and gun battle. Police say investigations are ongoing. The St. Mary Division is vowing to remain vigilant in protecting communities and clamping down on criminal networks. The Jamaica Labour Party is calling on the People's National Party to take action against its caretaker for St. Elizabeth Southeastern and Spanish Town Mayor Norman Scott. Mayor Scott was charged last week with assault occasioning bodily harm and malicious destruction of property following an incident with a JLP indoor agent on election day.
Violence in any shape or form is to be condemned. There is no excuse for abuse. It is good that moves have been made to hold the perpetrator accountable. The representative of Jamaica Labour Party, who was reportedly attacked, has the full support of our party.
In the meantime, the St. Catherine caucus of PNP councillors is accusing the JLP of rushing to judgment, arguing that the JLP is ignoring the principle of innocence until proven guilty. They contend the JLP's statement is more about politics than protecting the alleged victim. The councillors accused the JLP of hypocrisy, pointing to its silence when former MP George Wright was linked to a viral assault video. They insist the JLP's stance reflects political opportunism and not genuine concern about violence against women. The tourist resort town of Negril in Westmoreland has received some well-needed intervention in the wake of a garbage problem in the area. The long-standing issue has been affecting residents and visitors who say it has sullied the image of the resort town.
As a tourist resort, we obviously have to maintain the product and keep it in a tidy way. So we reached out to the TEF through the Destination Assurance Council and requested some skips, because we realized that part of the problem that we have is that people don't have proper skips to dispose their garbage into so that the trucks can pick it up. Some of them throw the garbage along the roadside and in certain areas, and it's very unsightly. So we thought that getting some skips for the resort would be helpful.
Chairman of the Negril Destination Assurance Council, hotelier Richard Wallace, says 5 new skips are now being placed at key locations across the resort town. He believes the move will ease pressure on the existing waste disposal system.
Here at the bus park, and one in Whitehall Phase 3, one in Whitehall Phase 2, and one on the west end at Villa Lacage Road. So those will be used by our residents and workers, because obviously we have to keep the whole resort town in a presentable manner. No garbage lying around, etc., etc. So that's how we ended up here today.
Mr. Wallace says they will continue to ensure the skips are cleared regularly and used effectively to address the persistent problem. The FBI is intensifying its search for a Jamaican national, Elaine Angwin Esco, also known as Annie and Annie Palmer, who is accused of stealing millions in COVID-19 relief funds. Esco is wanted in connection with a massive scheme to defraud U.S. federal programs of more than $34 million. She faces charges including conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering, wire fraud and transactional money laundering. A federal arrest warrant was issued on May 22, 2025 in the Southern District of Florida. Investigators say between May 2020 and November 2021, Esco and her co-conspirators filed over 990 fraudulent applications for pandemic relief programs, including the Paycheck Protection Program, Economic Injury Disaster Loans, the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, and the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. The FBI alleges the group falsified employee numbers, payroll costs, and revenues before channeling the funds into personal accounts, businesses under their control, and cash withdrawals while using blank signed checks to hide the source of the money. Esco was last seen on June 3, 2025 in Palm Beach County, Florida. Residents in St. Thomas are expressing pride and support for a proposal to rename St. George's Street in Morant Bay to Tony and Singh Street. The proposal was passed by the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation during the recent monthly meeting. Residents say it is a fitting tribute to the former Miss World, whose global achievements have left a positive impact on the community.
It's better name of Tony and Singh, somebody where we know and come from the parish, instead of name of somebody where we know nothing about.
Seeing that she is from St. Thomas, born, and she has lifted St. Thomas to a higher level, I think it would be fair to give her a chance that the street be named.
Singh made history in 2019 as the fourth Jamaican to win the Miss World title, later becoming the longest reigning Miss World in the pageant's history. The resolution will now be sent to the Ministry of Local Government for final approval. Still ahead, VM Investments shifts strategy and moves away from corporate debt to focus on private equity deals. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Midday News and thanks for staying with us. It's now time for the Business Minute with O'Shane Masters.
Victorial Mutual Investments Limited says it will shift its focus to private equity deals and move away from the corporate debt market. Chief Executive Officer Resworth Burchinson says the sluggish equity market is driving this decision. He says VM Investments Limited will pursue opportunities through direct investments and regional partnerships. The company recorded a net loss of $6.7 million for the June quarter, compared with a $23 million profit last year. Further afield, the US and UK will sign an agreement this week, ushering in new deals on nuclear power between companies in the two countries. One of the things the accord will do is make it easier to build new nuclear power stations in both nations. The announcement of the deal comes ahead of President Trump's state visit to the UK this week. Now, the British government says the agreement between DC and London clears the way for a major expansion of new nuclear projects in the United Kingdom. It's also consistent with moves by the Trump administration this year to support nuclear energy. That includes measures to speed up reactor testing and expand uranium enrichment. For the Business Minute, I'm O'Shane Masters.
And now the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Haitian Bridge Alliance praised a federal judge's ruling in San Francisco, which mandated the Trump administration reinstate temporary protected status for Venezuelans and Haitians. The organization's executive director, Grilene Joseph, said the ruling followed the government's failure to enable individuals to renew their protections online. Judge Edward M. Chen ruled that the Trump administration's decision to revoke TPS for nearly 1 million people was illegal. Despite the administration claim that the order was not yet effective, Judge Shen enforced the ruling immediately during an emergency hearing. On the international scene, the Trump administration and China have reached a preliminary deal to keep TikTok operational in the U.S., ending a years-long dispute. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the agreement and credited Trump's leadership. The deal will be finalized when Trump meets with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Talks took place in Spain as a part of broader trade negotiations. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Antonia Atkinson.
And now we head to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the Midday Sports Report.